So, brothers and sisters, we're here to talk about the Black Panther movie, a movie that has had much fanfare. It was much anticipated, and it definitely lived up to the hype. I saw the movie, and of course, many brothers and sisters, many of you told me that I should prepare myself for what I would see, because although many of our people don't think deeply, those of you who do tend to think a little bit more in-depthly than others had already informed me that I probably would not be too excited about the message within the movie. Whenever you watch a movie, you have to pay attention, obviously, to the cinematography, the production itself. And obviously, I have to give a hats off in the kudos to director Ryan Coogler. You did an excellent job, my brother. Okay, I applaud you. You are with your queen. You have stayed with your queen, a beautiful black sister. I look forward to more of your work. You did an excellent job with Creed, okay, which you filmed in my neighborhood, all right? You did an excellent job with Fruitville Station, and I look for more and more from brother Ryan Coogler. All of the actresses did an excellent job. Lupita, an excellent job. T'Challa, okay, brother Bozeman, excellent job. Okay, Michael B., excellent job. The queen who played Okoye, the leader of the Dora Milaje, the military unit, excellent job. She's the same sister who played Tupac's mother. The acting was A+. They did an excellent job. What I loved most about Black Panther was the fact that they had an entire cast of richly melanated Africans. For the first time, black children and the black child that lives within all of us, black children and the black child that lives within all of us had an opportunity to see a major motion picture where richly melanated Africans were not the tokens, were not the enemies, but were the antagonists, the protagonists. They were the extras. The movie was dominated with the original phenotype of African people. That was powerful. Because as you know, at being the certified school psychologist and educator that I am, I work every day in schools with our beautiful African children and those who are of darker hue. My complexion and darker tend to have low self-esteem complexes engendered in them by family, by society, and yes, by Hollywood. So for black girls to see chocolate, gorgeous black women with their own nappy ass heads was an intellectual insurrection. That was psychologically affirming to African children, black girls in particular. You cannot put a price on it. You cannot put a price on the validation and the verification and the redemption of soul and mind that took place within our black girls and black boys and even our adult black women who suffer from light skin supremacy and white supremacy, who suffer from light skin supremacy and white supremacy. And we are not in any way, shape, or form condemning, negating, or reducing the value of our light skinned brothers and sisters, because the first color on the African flag is red. It's the blood that makes you African. And within the world of Pan-Africanism, we do not select out for color. Let me say it again. In the world of revolutionary Pan-African nationalism, classical Garveyism, we do not select out for color. Okay? Whether you are light, bright, or blue, black, purple, as long as you identify and are committed to the protection, defense, and maintenance of the red, the black, and the green, you are my brothers and you are my sisters. So we do not select out for color. But for those of us who are of a darker hue, we have a history of being rejected, denied, and excluded from opportunities to serve as major characters on the main stage. That's all we are saying. And I am saying that on behalf of black boys and black girls, psychologically speaking, the Black Panther movie was a home run. Nothing did my heart better than to see Okoye say, I can't wait to get this thing off of my head, referencing the wig. She said, I can't wait to get this thing off of my head. That's where we need black women to get to the point where you feel ridiculous wearing the weave. You feel ridiculous wearing the perm. But for black men, we have to recognize that in order for our sisters to become liberated from the incarceration of European standards of beauty, in order for black women to feel liberated from the incarceration of European standards of beauty, black men are going to have to become more unapologetic in demanding that our sisters look like God made them and not the Korean hair care factory. Okay? It's up to us as black men to empower black women to go back to their natural state. As you've heard me say on multiple occasions, one of the most revolutionary things that can happen in America, in the world for that matter, because weave and perm are international phenomena. One of the most revolutionary things that can happen in this world for black girls is for black women to liberate themselves from the weave and the perm. So to see all that melanin on stage, beautiful. I loved it. Those chocolate women, I loved it. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Brothers and sisters, what I also loved about this movie was the manner in which Wakanda, the imaginary dreamland, and we're going to get into that, but I really loved and appreciated the manner in which, and I preached this, and I don't want to sound arrogant or vain, but you're going to have a hard time convincing me that the writers of this film, Brother Coogler and the other brother, are not familiar with Dr. Umar Johnson. I know it's going to sound vain for you to hear me say that Killmonger quoted me several times in the movie. I know it's going to sound vain for you to hear me say Brother Killmonger quoted the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey several times in the movie. I know you're going to say that it's vain for Dr. Umar Johnson to say, what is the coincidence? What is the likelihood of a villain in the first major Marvel film with a black actor as its lead and an entire black cast, except for the two Neanderthals? What's the likelihood of the antagonist, Eric Killmonger, being ideologically homogenous with the Prince of Pan-Africanism? What's the likelihood of that? It's no likelihood. You know, like I know in the black consciousness movement, most of our brothers are not African. And most of them who are African are not Pan-Africanist. Okay, so you're going to have to do some selecting out. You're going to have to do some analysis of deduction to find out where did they get the ideology that they gave Killmonger, because the original Killmonger was not a Pan-Africanist. The original Killmonger in the comic book was not a Garveyite. He was not a revolutionary Pan-African nationalist. So who came up with the decision to demonize the ideology that just so happens to be the platform of the leading Pan-Africanist in the Western Hemisphere? But I digress. I love the fact that as Wakanda developed technologically, I loved the fact that as Wakanda developed scientifically, it did not shed its culture. I love the way in which the technology of Wakanda was effectively woven into the pre-existing culture of Wakanda. That was beautiful. They had culture side by side with technology. Why was that important? Why was it important? Brother Coogler did an excellent job in showing how we don't have to give up who we are in order to go where we need to be. We don't have to give up who we are in order to go to where we need to be. Where we need to be. That was beautiful. The culture was there. The greenery was there. The plants, the animals, the waterfall, the mountain. They didn't Europeanize Wakanda in order to become technologically sophisticated. They did not Europeanize Wakanda in order to become technologically sophisticated. So one of the benefits of this movie was that it showed Africans and African people, and particularly our leaders on the continent, and our leaders in the Caribbean, and our leaders in Central and South America, it showed them that you can improve the quality of life of Africa. You can improve the technological sophistication of Africa without killing the natural geography that God gave you. You do not have to kill the natural geography that God gave you in order to technologically advance your nation. That was powerful, because the white man has convinced African people that in order for you to modernize yourself, in order for Africa to catch up to